So, in a shock to everybody, Benaja Hamilton was waived by the Liberty. I think every single person thought she was going to be traded. And it kind of makes sense why she was waived and not traded. So, you know what? It actually doesn't. I was about to say, oh, teams weren't going to want to take her salary. But that might also be true as well. So, if you were the New York Liberty, you would have had to take on some minimum salary to match it, or give up a player and have a team waive somebody. So maybe they didn't want any of the minimum salary players in return the trade. Maybe teams weren't offering picks, they were just offering players, and they didn't want any players back. And if they didn't want any players back, it's one of those things where it's like the Liberty are in a better position now just waiving her. Why? Because the reason, if you don't know, there's a reason why they waived her. So French point guard Marine Foto, who is one of the better young point guards in the world. She's 25 years old. Starting point guard for France. Like, she starts over Late, she starts over Lacan, she starts over Astier. When she's healthy, or at least she was starting over them. And the Liberty have had her, and she is one off. Like, you're allowed to play 12 games, and once you play that 12th game, you become. They have to call you up, otherwise you become an unrestricted free agent. So. Or say a reserve free agent. So basically, the New York Liberty had to create cap space. Otherwise, they couldn't play Foto the rest of the year, who's in the rotation. So that's why they got rid of her now. Because Foto's about to play her 12th game. But if you are the Indiana Fever, I repeat, you cannot, under any circumstances, not be in the sweepstakes for Benaja Hamilton. I get it. The Indiana Fever need another big. I understand that. I really do. But you know what else the Indiana Fever need? Anybody that can guard in the perimeter. I get it. Benaja Hamilton is not who she was in 2024. She's not the borderline all defensive level player. Like, she was on the last World Cup team, if you guys don't know. The last time USA made the World Cup, or like won the World Cup, she was on that team. She's not the player she was. She's absolutely not the player she was then. And we're not pretending she is. But that player was making nearly a max contract. The version of her right now is still going to, like, give you something as a minimum contract player. It's as simple as that. Like, Benaja Hamilton is still going to give you something. If you are the Indiana Fever, you have the money to bring her in because of the Dantas situation. You can offer the Dantas contract, which unfortunately, if you offer anything more than the minimum with the way the salary is, you can't really afford it. So you can offer her the Dantas contract. If you are the Mystics, you can give her a fucking max contract if you want. If you're the Mystics and you really want to, you can give her a max contract. But I think the Mystics are kind of happy where they are. I think they might be okay. But because the thing is, she's Cody's backup. Like, she goes to the Mystics and she's suddenly not in the rotation. If you're the Dallas Wings, it's a really interesting one because I think they're starting to like Paige Bueckers, and like Enrique's playing a bit. They're playing a lot of minutes. So there is minutes there for Benaja because they don't really love, it doesn't seem like they love Zaza James, and they're not playing Segrist anymore. The problem with the Wings is that they don't have a breeze what their rotations are. Jose Fernandez, we saw it yesterday. He has no idea what his best five is. He has no idea who his closers are. He has no idea how he wants to close games. Has no idea. So I don't really know how great she's going to be there. And if she's in Dallas, she's going to immediately, it's not that she's going to have a role. They need her. As in, she might end up playing 25 minutes a game. And I don't know if her body's capable of doing that right now. She didn't look great for the Liberty. The Indiana Fever feels like the best fit. The Atlanta Dream is another team that has the cap room for her. But like, I don't see the point. When you've got Ryan, when you've got Alicia, when you've got off the bench, Izzy Borlays, they have Pau Pau who's kind of playing the two off the bench. Like, They really have an identity, and maybe the Dream is an interesting shout for her. But for me, it feels like it's the Fever, because if she gets to 60% of her best, she's still a better defender than Lexi Hull. Like, she's probably going to be better than what Aerial Powers is going to be. And like, she started off the year winning 10 of her first 11 games. And then really struggled. Like, she was good to start the year. She was averaging about 8 points per game. Up until she got injured, she was averaging what, like 8 points a game? And she was doing okay. Her plus minus was the top on the team. And like, it makes a lot of sense. If you're the Mercury or something, like if you're the Mercury, there's no point, unless you want to just go and keep cashing your checks. Like, if you just want to keep cashing your checks, sign for literally anybody. Sign for literally anyone if you just want to keep cashing your checks. There are teams that will waive players to bring her in. But I don't see why a tanking team would do it. Like, if it's the Mercury, cool. The Mercury are out of the playoffs. They lost last night. The Mercury are behind the Chicago Sky. Like, I'm sorry, you're the 11th seed. You have just overtaken, because you won one of your last two, you've just overtaken the 11-win Portland Fire and the 10-win Toronto Tempo since the All-Star break. Look, if we're being real here, it is one of those things where if you want to go to a playoff contender, for me, it's probably Atlanta or Indiana. I think she's better than Lexi Hull. Do I think she's better than Sophie Cunningham defensively? Sure. But like, I don't feel like Lexi's done enough on either end of the floor for the Fever not to push for Benijah Hamilton. It's a vet. It's a champion. It's somebody that is, again, one of the best players in the history of a franchise. There's a lot of positive things with Benijah. And for me, I'm like, it doesn't make any sense why a team like Indiana wouldn't push for this. If you lose out on her, you lose out on her. Like, if you lose out on Lainey Hamilton, you lose out on Lainey Hamilton. Like, absolutely. If she chooses to go somewhere else, cool. But you got to go for her. I don't think she's going to be the difference between winning a title. But as we have seen, yes. As I have said, they just signed Marine Foto to a multi-year deal. Yeah, this is why they get rid of her. As we said, they got rid of BLH because they had to sign her. And for being honest, maybe there's something wrong with her. If the Fever don't get her, I really hope there's something wrong with her. Sorry, I don't mean for her, but I hope they don't lose out on her because they didn't try. That was a really bad way of putting it. It feels like I really hope they go for her, whether they get her or not. They don't have to cut anybody. They're the only one of those rosters that doesn't have to cut anybody. And if she's not playing, so be it. Like, she wasn't playing for New York Liberty. And there is no way in hell that the Indiana Fever won't find a way to get her into rotation. When you're splitting Lexi and Sophie minutes, what it allows you to do is it allows you to give Sophie some minutes at the 4. It allows you to give Lexi again some minutes on the bench. But that's pretty much it, lads. Hopefully the Fever sign here. Hopefully they do. Anyway, I'll see you guys.